together in Windsor, Ontario, and in a meeting that lasted 3 hours at the Norton Palmer Hotel, the International Hockey League was born. The inaugural season saw 4 teams play 15 games, with 2 teams based in Detroit and 2 in Windsor. The very first Turner Cup, the IHL's championship trophy presented annually to the playoff champion, went to the Detroit Auto Club team. The 1940s saw the league's popularity continue to grow, though each season saw movement in teams, with a high of 11 in 1948 and a drop-off to just 5 in 1949. The 50s ushered in a sense of stability. The Fort Wayne Comets joined the league in 1952 and remain today as the league's oldest and steadiest club. That same year saw the demise of the IHL's last Canadian team, the Chatham Maroons, making the IHL all-American based. The Cincinnati Mohawks joined the IHL in 1952 and went on to win a record 5 consecutive Turner Cups from 53 to 57. Len Thornton, the all-time leading IHL scorer, began his career in 1956 with the Indianapolis Chiefs. In 13 stellar seasons, Thornton scored 479 goals and 898 assists. The league remained relatively stable through the 60s and 70s, and in 1980, the IHL expanded to its current schedule of 82 games per team. The unique tiebreaker shootout format to decide games tied at the end of overtime was adopted in 1986. This has added even more excitement to the game, as there are no ties in IHL games. The 1990s has brought continued growth, stability, and excitement. With the addition of the Atlanta Knights, the Cincinnati Cyclones, and the Cleveland Lumberjacks to the league this year, the IHL is firmly positioned in major markets from Atlanta to San Diego. Last year's attendance was over 2.5 million and looks to break the 3 million mark this year. 8 of the 12 teams are the top affiliates of NHL clubs. And the IHL has truly become an international league. With the demise of the Soviet Union, there has been a flood of Russian and European players into the league. Last year, the San Diego Gulls acquired winger Dmitry Kvartlanov, and he promptly won the IHL's MVP and Rookie of the Year awards, having scored 60 goals and 118 points. He was the top draft choice of the Boston Bruins and is now one of their leading scorers. And just to drop a couple of other names, U.S. Olympic goaltender Ray LeBlanc and the unified team's gold medal-winning goaltender Mikhail Stalenkov are 2 more headliners on IHL rosters. The International Hockey League has come a long way from its beginnings in 1945. The IHL is one of the premier professional hockey leagues and has a bright future ahead. You're looking live at downtown Atlanta, and a city that's on fire with sports activity, hosting World Series participants 2 years in a row, the 1996 Olympics, and now the Omni, celebrating its 20th anniversary, has hockey back in this building as tonight. The International Hockey League's television season debuts on Prime as the Salt Lake Golden Eagles take on the Atlanta Knights. Hi, everybody, with Mike Barrick. This is Ken Double, and welcome to our first broadcast of the year. It seems like yesterday we were here for the All-Star game in the Omni last year, but now we're here for regular season action and anticipating an outstanding hockey game tonight with 2 of the IHL's best teams. Mike, the Atlanta Knights have been playing very well and have led the Eastern Conference all year. Salt Lake's been hot lately.
Well, the Golden Eagles have won 9 of their last 12. The Knights have won 9 of
in the league as we go along. But we're getting set for a big night of hockey action in the Omni. We're glad you're with us on Prime Network tonight. Back at the Omni and just about ready to drop the puck, the Salt Lake Golden Eagles and the Atlanta Knights pass along as well, including a look at Manon Rhéaume. And we'll have all that for you and more as our telecast from the Omni continues. We'll be back with our first intermission after we take this timeout. You're watching IHL Hockey on Prime.
I started to play hockey at 5 years old. I started to skate at 3. My parents make the outside ice. It's why I started to skate very young. And my 2 brothers play hockey, and when I would like to play with him, they said, go in the net and we're going to shut on you. And That's why I start like this. First of all, for me, it's not important to be the first woman. The fact is, I'm the first woman, and if they can help other women, I think it's good. Because when I was young, I never see a woman at this level, and it's why I never think to go higher. And sometimes when I have some problem because I'm a girl, I was discouraged, and sometimes I think to stop. And it's why now, if they can help other women to continue to play, or if they can help other men too, if some boys said, if a girl can do this, I can do this, I think it's good too. I practice every day with the guys, and after every day I have outside training, and I do some weights and aerobic thing and flexibility too. It's why I work hard every day and to try to catch up and to be stronger on the ice. Oh, when I was young, one of my favorite goaltenders was Daniel Bouchard. He played for Quebec Nordics, and now I have the chance to meet him because he lives in Atlanta. It's good to meet him. I think I have a lot of pressure for this game. I don't have to put more in my shoulder when I said it's an NHL game. I just think to do my best and to concentrate on the game. And I was very nervous before the game, but when I go on the ice, I feel good. No, I never think to be here before. I never see a woman in professional hockey. It's why every year I want to play because I love that. And but I love the competition. It's why I want to go higher every year.
Manon Rhéaume, certainly easy on the eyes, and a great work ethic. It's incredible the great courage that she shows. You know, the book on her at 5'6" is going to be shoot high, and at practice the guys are banging it off the face mask and the helmet, and she just sits there and takes it, and it's one of the reasons she's won over her teammates.
Well, Ginu Briaco mentioned to me that she actually was on her knees taking shots so she could improve her glove, and there was discussion that perhaps she might even see some action before this game concludes.
I think a lot will depend on what happens with the scoreboard, but we'll see about that. And when we come back, we'll have the statistics, highlights, and more. The feature piece on Manon Rhéaume. She will start the second period for Ginu Briaco and the Atlanta Knights, making her first appearance of the regular season. Manon Rhéaume is between the pipes and getting the encouragement and congratulations from her teammates when she stepped in to scrape up the crease in front of the net. A standing ovation from the crowd here at the Omni.
And I'll tell you what, it's exciting for all of the sports fans throughout this country. She has to be one nervous individual right now. She played that one NHL exhibition game, but this regular season international game, and we'll see how she does here in the second period. Many of the Eagle players were aware that she might play, so we'll see how the Knights play in front of her. We'll see if Salt Lake change anything offensively to try and pepper her here in the second period, and they're giving her a standing ovation. Chaplin goal in the first, 17-3 in favor of the Atlanta Knights. The Trefloff was brilliant, but right now, all that overshadowed by Manon Rhéaume.
It's amazing. She won't be 21 until February 24th. 5'6", 135 pounds. Was 3-0-0 for the Canadian national women's team last year, posting a goals against average of 0.67, and was impressive enough to fill Tony Esposito, the Tampa Bay and Atlanta organizations, to win a tryout. She stops the first shot, the rebound cleared by the defense.
It'll go down as trivia. Sean Hafey, the first professional shooter on Manon Rhéaume, and she stopped some goals. She had 41 goals last year, king in the league, and she made a pretty good save.
And as we indicated during the intermission, the book on Manon will be fire it high, and I'll guarantee you she'll be tested high early on. Top shelf will be the place to shoot right now. The puck into the Salt Lake zone. Atlanta
Clears it to the point, and it's dumped back in. The Knights will have to clear the zone. Here's Kevin Guy for the Golden Eagles. Gillingham can't catch up with the puck, and the Knights are headed the other way. Caught him in a change. Stevenson, a shot and a save, and that rebound is cleared to center. And a chase for the puck here. Buchanan with Gillingham. Buchanan runs him off the play, and Manon steers it to the far side. Shot and a goal. No goal.
Kevin Wortman left the shot. Gillingham, I think, may have had his stick above his shoulders. It was deflected. We'll see if that's the reason. It was a high shot.
Derek Martin is saying no goal, and instead a penalty coming up for interference called against Gillingham. The Atlanta Knights get a break as Derek Martin calls an interference penalty and waves off the goal, and he called it immediately. There was no hesitation on his part. Here's another look as Wortman fires the biscuit.
And it was deflected, but they say Gillingham was in the crease, but he was outside the crease, so I'm not sure if that was a good call or not. Interference, however, so evidently he had enough in front to screen her out of the play to get the call, Kim.
I think that's a break for the Atlanta Knights. And now the puck is behind the Salt Lake net. Atlanta again on the power play. The puck along the near boards. Here's Buchanan at the point. Fired it too high. And the puck on Trefilov is fire high too, so the Glass may get a workout here in this second period. Jason Lafreniere with a puck. Now Buchanan. Hodge. Faked it, then decided to shoot it. Chernomaz got in front of it, right in front. The goaltender steers it wide, but then Buchanan fires one, kept in now by Hodge. His shot again knocked down by Chernomaz. Good play out front by Chernomaz, who's able to clear the zone.
Now the Eagles have another 59 seconds to kill on the penalty. Just one shot so far, except for the goal that was disallowed on the 20-year-old Manon Rayon.
Now the puck carried to center ice. Trulia has it knocked off his stick, and Rivers has it. Now the Golden Eagles able to clear. .30 seconds left on the power play. The Knights up the far side, and it's cleared again by the Golden Eagles.
That went on goal, so she makes the stop on that one, although it was from center ice.
Oh, the Knicks give it up at center ice, but Drulia picks it right back up. There's a break. Drulia with Capuano to the far corner, and Rivers. Now Drulia with just 5 seconds on the power play. Rivers bangs his shot, knocked down in front. The penalty is over. Gillingham's between the defenders. Cutting in, Rayom knocks the puck right back to Gillingham. Count the goal. So Gillingham makes amends. He steps out of the penalty box, and Rayom could not clear the puck. Gillingham popped it in behind her. It's 1-0 Salt Lake.
Interesting story there. Gillingham played at Three Rivers, the same junior team that Manon Rayon played for last year. Gillingham played there 2 seasons ago and actually practiced against her. And strangely enough, he scores the first ever professional goal in a regular game against Manon Rayon.
And great work by the camera crew to get Gillingham right out of the box. And there you see the puck right back into his uniform and then into the net. And if there's an area that Manon Rayon is working on more than anything else, it is handling the puck. It's the strength factor where she just isn't strong enough. And there it comes into play as she couldn't get the puck past Gillingham. Now Salt Lake putting on the pressure. Atlanta able to carry to center. Here's Berglund. Timmy Berglund across the line. Rolls it into the corner. Trefilov out. Played along the board. Now Trefilov way out. Berglund has it. Here's Hodge, rather. Boston, his shot deflected wide. LaPuma fans on a play, and it's at center ice. Played by Timmy Berglund. And now we've got whistles, and again LaPuma getting into it at the far side.
Yeah, LaPuma and Tim Harris colliding along the far side right in front of the Atlanta players bench. Harris part of an NCAA championship with Lake Superior. And, you know, Ken, Bob Francis was very concerned about Manon Rhéaume playing goal. He felt that the Knights would really tighten up defensively. And that was his big concern coming into the game tonight.
Harris and LaPuma both sit 2 minutes for roughing. 4:18 into the second period. So once again, we'll be 4-on-4 in front of the goaltenders. And there's Gene Ubriaco, who made the call. Manon Rhéaume to play the second period of this game. Maybe 2 periods. We'll have to wait and see.
Talked to him before the game. He said he felt about this time of the season he might give her a chance, and he sure has here tonight.
Now the Knights carry in. Rivers' shot is wide. Chernomaz beats Stoke. Has it knocked off his stick by Lafreniere. And Stoke reloads the gun. Here's Chernomaz. He carries in. Looks around, lands. Finally pinched on the play. Stevenson runs St. Pierre into the boards. And now Lands chases down the puck. The veteran carries the puck well. Hits the red line, spins away from a check. Feeds it ahead for Stevenson. Stevenson not showing much of the ill effects off that broken foot. He's got great wheels. Now Chernomaz, his shot deflected high. And Rivers has the funny carom off the glass. Stevenson plays it at center. Lafreniere is there. Now Rivers has a little room. He booms a shot. Oh, Trefilov had a little trouble with that one. Took it off the blocker. Almost flipped the catching glove over across his body to make that save. Now Forza. Pinched off the play by Buchanan. Holden keeps it in. And now Forsland is hurt behind the net. Very slow to get up. I don't think we have a penalty coming up here. I think it was just a good hit. 1-0. The Golden Eagles lead the Atlanta Knights. 14-11 left in the second period at the Omni, and we're coming back for more of the IHL on Prime.
December the 19th.
Who's having fun? Who's been to Hooters? Come on, everyone, it's at Hooters. Hooters. Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Hooters makes you happy.
Good times, great food, fun music, what a hoot. Hooters. Hooters. Everybody's getting happy at Hooters.
And Manon Rhéaume is back to the bench.
Well,
So
Gene.
But 2 second period goals for the Atlanta Knights. And indeed an interesting second period that saw Manon Rhéaume make her IHL debut. Not spectacular by any means, but nonetheless, she got her first minutes of action and gets a fine response from the crowd as she heads to the locker room. It's 2-0 Salt Lake City after 40 minutes of play. You're watching hockey from the Omni. IHL hockey on the Prime Network. We're coming right back.
Minnesota North Stars hockey is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the NHL and the Minnesota North Stars. You can't beat the real thing. And by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself or we'll do it for you. And by
To the end of the regular National Hockey League season. It's closer than you think, and the end could be the end for the St. Louis Blues. Tonight, a key matchup in the Norris Division as the North Stars meet the Blues in St. Louis.
John Casey, record 20-16-5 with 2 shutouts, save percentage .886, goals against average 3.26. For the Blues, Curtis Joseph, 48 games, and he's got a record of 19-22-6, 1 shutout, goals against 3.22, save percentage .902. Casey defending the north goal to our right, and Joseph the south goal to our left. And the referee, Kerry Fraser, will preside over the faceoff featuring Dave Gagne against Ron Sutter. And we're all set for action at the arena in St. Louis as the puck is down. It's back to Butcher at the St. Louis blue line. Brings it to center, fires it in off to Casey's right. And along the far boards, it comes back in the corner. Sutter passing off, and a shot from the circle goes wide to the right. The shooter was Igor Korolev. Back come the North Stars. Long shot by McPhee, kicked out easily by Curtis Joseph. It's back at center. Sutter feeding it ahead, and Barry clears it away from the North Star blue line. Butcher dumping it ahead. Korolev after it. Runs into Barry, who forced him to turn back, then took a hit on the play. As the puck is fired in deep and cleared up the right side by Barry. Back into the St. Louis zone for it comes Jeff Brown. Slips it on out to Butcher now from the center line, and he lobs it in back of the net. Casey flattens it out. Ludwig drives it around on the left side, and from there Gavin puts it out to center with Zombo dumping it back in. And this is Ludwig. Ludwig feeding a pass that's tipped out of the zone by Gavin. It'll go the length of the ice. And back to pick it up is Murray Barron behind the St. Louis goal, and they call icing against the Minnesota North Stars. And that brings the face-off back in the Stars zone to the left of Casey.
Olfie Dahlin just signed the big ticket. He is now over the $500,000 a year mark. It was a one-year deal that pays him retroactively for this season. Bob Basson, the steady role player for the St. Louis Blues. And Al, we were talking with Joe Micheletti, one of the broadcasters of the St. Louis Blues, who said that beyond the first 3 or 4 forwards, guys like Basson and Lowry and the Sutters have really had trouble scoring. And in fact, he said it's uncorked the champagne bottles if one of those guys are able to find the net. They have not had much help from their lower forward units.
From the face-off to Casey's left, the puck in the corner. Johnson clearing it up the wing, and it comes on out to center. Quintel's pass hops the stick of Kurt Giles, who skates it down and clears to center. And the Blues attacking, but it's knocked off Nelson Emerson's stick. Recovered at center and played in by Craig Janney. Ludwig back to clear it away from Emerson, but it's kept in momentarily by Quintal. Now it's tipped to center, and here comes Duchesne. Fires right on, knocked down by Joseph, and he quickly comes out to cover up. The North Stars have scored first in 37 of 62 games this season, while their opponents have scored first in 25 games, including the last 4 in a row. Robitaille scored first in the LA game at Met Center. LA won it. Then Mark Recchi scored first in the Philadelphia game at Met Center. The North Stars won that one. And Sergei Fedorov scored first in the Detroit game, which Detroit won. And then 2 nights ago at Boston, Darren Kimball scored first for the Bruins, but the North Stars came back to tie in that game. Mike Madonna taking the face-off against Bob Basson. Now they're sending Basson out, and it'll be Kevin Miller, former Washington. Back off the boards, left point to Nordy, and his shot is deflected by Basson, rink wide and back in the North Star zone. Casey out, banks it out off the boards to center. And now it's finally picked up in the neutral zone. Rich Sutter, but his pass is intercepted. Banked off the boards back into the St. Louis zone by Gavin and cleared out immediately by Zombo. Now we have a collision. Basson knocking down Tenorti as they come together at the North Star blue line. And this is Madonna with the puck to Gavin. Coming back into his zone. And out he comes, dumping it in. He and Barron going after it. They tie up. Basson picks it up and clears it up the left side. And the Blues take over with a feed that's behind Rich Sutter. He runs into Tenorti, knocks it back into the Minnesota zone, and Hatcher slips it to Madonna on his right. Got by Ron Wilson. And Wilson checked him from behind. Madonna firing it on in. Quintal clearing it around to the left. Miller a little tip pass. Wilson puts it out to center, and it's picked off, and the North Stars come in, and it's broken up as Klatt was pulled down, and the face-off, or the puck is cleared back into the Minnesota zone. Casey out, and his pass is picked off, and now it's broken up in the left corner by Gagne. The puck still in the zone. Wilson's pass picked off and cleared to center by Gagne. Kurt Giles lobbing it back in. Casey cutting it off, and Ludwig has it. Now passing off. Gagne was checked. by Wilson, and the puck was deflected across to Barry. Long shot, blockered away to the right. Played off the boards and out by Quintal. This is Tenorti turning with it. Gives it to McPhee. Plays it back in. Quintal back. Banks kept in. Gagne. Long shot wide right. Quintal brings it around to Basil McRae, acquired from Tampa recently. His rink-wide pass picked up by Derek Smith off the boards, just called up from Kalamazoo for the injured Mike Craig. They hope he'll be back for playoffs if they make the playoffs. Now it's played in. Hatcher in the corner, tied up. Centering pass comes rink-wide, right point Brown. Casey the save, and the rebound picked up and brought back to the net by Bobby Smith. They got the two Smiths playing together with Churla. Now Tenorti has it. Gives it to Hatcher. A bank for Derek Smith, had to wait for it. In check from Butcher, gives it back to Hatcher. Hatcher's pass in off the glove of Churla. Brown failed to clear. It's played back to the net. Brown pursuing in the corner. Check. Bobby Smith moves in to help. Puck comes loose. And finally Ron Sutter. A bank pass. Moving in is Korolev. He put it in front, trying to get it to Hull, but Ludwig cleared it away from him. Hull recovering a loose puck and fired. And it goes off Casey's stick, landing to his left. Now a clearing attempt is picked off by Korolev, but he lost it, and the puck comes back into the blue zone. Jeff Brown to Butcher. He dumps it ahead, and it's relayed back into the Minnesota zone. Ludwig back to pick it up behind the net. Clears it to the right, and it's relayed ahead by Courtnall. It got by Quintal. He's back to pick it up to the left, and his pass is picked off by Courtnall. Now it's fed in front, and Courtnall unable to get a good shot off as he picked up the pass from Duchesne. Now the Blues start back with Emerson. Rink wide for Shanahan. A drop pass. This is Chaney. Got by one check, and they were changing point men. Zombo coming off the bench, couldn't get to it in time. From center ice, Barron fires it back in, and it's cleared by Barry. Zombo. Got by Hatcher, then got tied up by Duchesne, who falls. Barry clearing the puck away to the right corner. Zombo in there along with Emerson. Hatcher jams him. Attempt to play it back to the net, hit the side of the goal. Now it's cleared to Madonna, who relays it to Courtnall. Crisscrossing, tried to give it back to Madonna, but it's broken up and cleared by Emerson. And Johnson back for Minnesota. Jimmy Johnson overpasses Madonna. It got by Barron. Out comes Joseph. Backhands it around to the left. It's centered. Gavin shot, and it was rink wide. I think it went off the pipe. Now back comes Rich Sutter. Poking it in as he runs into Johnson. A bouncing puck is cleared away on out to center by Dolan. And the Blues fire it right back in. They're approaching the 7-minute mark of a scoreless first period. Now the puck recovered by the Blues. Fed in front. Bassin's shot deflects wide to the left. Johnson playing it ahead, and it comes back in the St. Louis zone deep to the right. Butcher back for it. We have an icing call, and there's no score. This is North Stars hockey.
Early chances of 5-3. On the other end of the ice, it's Bassin's shot that goes off the traffic in front to the left of John Casey. Casey played a very solid game the other night in Boston. The North Stars coaches said after the game that they liked the way he settled down. He handled the puck, they thought, very strongly. No major lapses in concentration. And he held them in there in the third period when the North Stars needed to come back twice from 2-goal deficits, down 2-0 in the first and 3-1 in the third to salvage a 3-3 tie with the Boston Bruins at the Garden. It was a darn good and exciting hockey game the other night here on Channel 9.
All right, we've got Gagne and Ron Sutter to Casey's left. No score, 13:24 remaining in the first period. Off the boards to the right point for Hull. Passes off, Brown shot, that's up off the glass. Hull losing it to Gagne. Got McPhee on his left. Flat coming. Centering pass, and it came off the traffic right into the crease. Curtis Joseph covering it for a stoppage and a face-off. The North Stars and the Blues played the opening game of the season here, October 6th. The Blues won it 6-4. Then on October the 8th, 2 nights later, they went back up to Met Center. The North Stars beat the Blues 5-2 to even the season series at a game apiece. On October the 15th, they met for the 3rd time in a couple of weeks. North Stars winning that 5-4 here in St. Louis. And then at Met Center on December 22nd, it was a 2-all tie. They had some afternoon tilts. The Chicagos beat the Detroits 2-1. The Tampas and the Penguins of Pittsburgh tied 3-all. And the Bostons beat the Washingtons 5-4. Tonight, we've had one final score. The New York Islanders over Philadelphia 3-2. Another one. New Jersey beating Ottawa 5-2. First period, it's Quebec 3, Hartford 1. Cleared out of the zone by Korolev. Now Hull went after it, but Tenorti played it away from him, and the Stars fire it on in with Brown back. Clears it around. It got by Klatt and is picked up by Hull. Hull's pass picked off by Gagne, who dumps it back in. That forces Brown back for it. Jeffrey Brown, highest scoring defenseman on the Blues, to Hull and back to Brown. Wide. Casey pokes it to his right. Hull to Korolev. He's in check from Tenorti, who jams him. Hull recovers the puck, passes off, and a shot in the slot hit Bobby Smith. The shooter was Janney, and the Stars come back with Derek Smith to Churla. Shot right on, the save by Joseph. Now Derek Smith to Bobby Smith to Derek Smith. In he comes, and on the backhander, he was pulled down by Giles, who will take the game's first penalty. Delayed. The shot goes wide to the left by Johnson off the traffic. Back of the net is left by Derek Smith. His centering attempt deflects back to the left point. This is Bobby Smith giving it to Broughton. Broughton into the far circle, and a shot from there by Bobby Smith is blocked. And finally, we get the stoppage of play. And we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis zone. And the delayed penalty will be called on Kurt Giles. This is North Stars hockey.
Come to town.
Kurt Giles off for tripping Derek Smith. Face-off to the left of Curtis Joseph. First power play chance. Donald leaves it for Chodin. Slips it ahead for Gagne. Take the shot. Now to Dolan, put it in front. He was trying to get it across to Madonna, but it's deflected toward the blue line and cleared by Ron Sutter. Chodin fell, Wilson after it, but Gagne there to clear it rink wide away from him. Dolan back of the net to Gagne. Miller after him, but it's fed to Klatt. Klatt's pass kicked from skate to stick neatly by Dolan. In he comes, check. The puck comes loose. Who will get it first? And Zombo does, and starts Wilson back. Runs into Madonna. Now puts it in the slot. Klatt breaking it up and giving it to Madonna. Madonna to Gagne. Dolan after it. Barron is there. So is Zombo, and it's Zombo who brings it behind to Lowry. And it's cleared. No score in the hockey game. The Stars 7 shots, the Blues 3. Chodin. Glass with that one. Back to the net. Kirknall feeding the far boards. Madonna back to Chodin. He's fired. That goes wide to the left off. It's Sutter. Now Madonna again. That's in the corner. The Stars putting the pressure on here as it's fed back to the left point. Tenorti. Rink wide to Chodin. To Tenorti. Long shot goes wide left. Rich Sutter after it and has it. He's got Lowry with him as he clears it. Casey comes galloping out and headmans to Chodin coming back in the neutral zone. 15 seconds left in the penalty as it's fired in. Joseph cutting it off. Cleared around now by Barron. Miller going after it, but Casey will come out ahead of him. Banks it up the boards away from Miller, and it's cleared by Bobby Smith on out to center. Now Wilson has it, and Giles comes on out of the penalty box, takes a pass and fires it in. North Stars 0 for 1 on the power play, and here comes Tenorti. Passing up to Courtnall. His pass was blocked, comes back to him, gives it to Tenorti, now to Broughton. And a shot up high off the glass. Courtnall slot to Duchesne. The backhand shot right on, and Joseph down to cover and hold. And we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis zone. Well, the North Stars failed to score on that power play, but goals have been scored on the first power play in 4 of the North Stars' last 5 games. Against Toronto, Modano scored to make it 1-0 on the first power play. Against LA, Gagne scored on the first power play of the game to tie it at 1. Against Philadelphia, Mark Recchi scored on the first power play of the game to give Philly a 1-0 lead. There was no goal scored on the first power play in the Detroit-Minnesota game, but in Boston the other night, Neely scored on the game's first power play to make it 2-0 Bruins. No goal on the first power play here tonight. Johnson off Joseph and to the boards. Emerson trying to clear, kept in by Duchesne. Broughton goes down and the puck is cleared to center for Janney. Had a fish for it, dumps it in. Casey out, sets it up. Ludwig rings it. Duchesne trying to clear against Quintal and finally does. Blocked with the glove at center ice by Churla. Gives it to Broughton. Dumps it in as he runs into the Penguin. Joseph puts it in the corner. Now this is Janney. Nice pickup by Emerson on a bouncing puck to Shanahan. Ludwig to McPhee, runs into Butcher. Now to Broughton, he got away from him. And Emerson, his pass picked off by Klatt, drops it back in his zone to Barry and up to Gagne. Oh, he scores! Curtis Joseph misplayed it. He got the trapper out and hit it, but he didn't get it all. And it glanced off the trapper, hit the left post into the net. The Stars lead it 1-0 on what you would have to term a fluke goal. But they all count, don't they? 11:44 the time.
This one's a good goal for the North Stars because they are able to put good pressure on the Blues net but not get anything for their work. And finally, on the 11th shot of the first period, the Stars now have outshot them 11-4. Gagne's able to beat Curtis Joseph, who last night came to terms on a brand new contract, a 3-year, $3 million deal. But even the best of them miss him every once in a while, and that one a bomb from Dave Gagne to make it 1-0.
Davey G's 25th at 11:44. Well, they've got it credited to Greg Gagne. Well, he'd be interested in that. Maybe get a better deal with the Twins. Greg Gagne, look at that. This guy's been in the league for how long?
And it says Greg Gagne up on the matrix board up here. I wonder if
Johnson and Klatt. Klatt had 2 assists in Boston the other night. Jimmy Johnson and Trent Klatt. Now here's a chance for Gagne. Backhand shot, and Joseph makes the save on this one. He'll look out. Here comes Bobby's boy. Oh, Casey comes up with a big one. Ron Sutter checked in the corner, gets it back to Hull, wrap around and right across the front. Butcher, his shot hit the side of the net. Ron Sutter behind, goes down, and Gagne has it. Passing off to Klatt. Long shot, Joseph the save. Joseph head manning. Our Stars changing on the fly. The puck is played in. It bounced past Wilson. Ludwig puts it out. This is Gavin. Gavin to Modano. Back for Gavin. He's ridden off into the corner by Zombo. Modano moves in with Wilson. They all battle. It's played back to the net, and Brown clears it around on the side. Ludwig trying to keep it in against Lowry and did. Then got some help from Gavin, who plays it in deep. Brown loses it, but Korolev rink-wides it, comes right to the right point, and Barry fires it around behind. Modano has it, put it in front, and it went off Gavin. He was off balance. Zombo behind the net trying to clear. Barry keeping it in, passes off. Modano wheels and deals and hits the traffic left circle. Now Brown has it. He's chased back of the net by Modano. Guns it off the wall. It got by Ludwig. It's going to be icing when Barry gets back to touch it. The score 1-0 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey.
3-3, the number to call.
From the faceoff, Duchesne feeds Tenorti. It hits the crowd. Kept it in, knocking it off Janney's stick. But the Blues recover. Quintal's pass picked off. Courtnall in against Giles to Broughton, puts it in front. Duchesne a whack, and Joseph was down. It went back of the net. I think it hit the side of the goal, and back come the Blues on the attack. Shanahan to Janney, gloves it down, fired. Casey, big stop. Tenorti, stoppage. And they've called it down for the right post has come off. And they'll face it off to the right of John Casey.
St. Louis Blues fans complaining that maybe Courtnall put that net off of its pegs. It's Emerson and Courtnall crashing into the net. But a shot that was tipped right in front of John Casey off of Craig Janney's stick. It goes off Tenorti's stick. And Casey's there anyway to be able to knock it down. Then get the help with the loose net from behind. The North Stars, as we mentioned, a 13-6 shot advantage in the first period. The Blues have had problems in that department. Last year they were second only to the San Jose Sharks in terms of shots given up with 2,700 through the National Hockey League's 80 games. This year they've already given up 2,100 on their way to 2,800. And again, that is trouble, Al, if not for goaltenders with above 900 save percentages like Joseph. They would really be in big trouble.
This is Broughton and Sutter. Basil being crowded by Johnson. Now Broughton comes in to help out against Ron Sutter. Now Sutter gets it back. The center deflects into the slot area. Who's got it? Duchesne reaching back, cleared it away from Hull. Now Hull chasing a loose puck, rattles a shot that winds up way up there. That one's got a little snow on it when it comes down.
Brett Hull had 70 goals last season, and that number accounted for more than 25% of the Blues team total for the year. This year, both he and the Blues are down offensively. His 43 goals account for 20% of the club's total, and at this pace, Hull will score 56 this season, nearly a 30% fall off from a year ago, and he will contribute around 20% of the offensive total. That's a 5% drop. Defensemen and goaltenders still fear him, although he is not off to the same kind of year that he's had in recent years. 2 years ago, he had the 86 goals. Last year, the 70. And in 89-90, he had 72 goals. 43 is still an awfully respectable total at this point in the season, and finishing somewhere between 50 and 60, Al, is going to put him in the top 3 or 4 goal scorers in the NHL. Of course, Alexander McGillney's just running away with the darn thing. Cow.
Ron Sutter in facing off against Dave Gagne. Gagne with the only goal and got the draw, and the Stars come out with Platt. Working against Brown. Drops it back for Tenorti. He's checked by Hull. Now he's in a sandwich with Basil on the other side. Tenorti, Hull, and McRae. Now Platt has it. He's leaned upon by Mr. Brown. Basil trying to fish it. Everybody in there. Finally, McClatt wins the battle. Boy, he's having a year, isn't he? It's McPhee putting it out in front. Picked up, and Hull leaves it for McRae. McRae is all tied up from behind, and Platt tied him up, and they both go down, and the fans want it called. There will be no call. Back for the puck is Barron. We have icing against Minnesota. Well, it's a Saturday in St. Louis. The North Stars' record on Saturdays is a winning one. They've won 9, lost 6, and tied 4 on Saturdays. Their best day, however, is Thursday. They're 11-3-1. The one was the tie in Boston 2 nights ago. Their worst day coming up tomorrow, Sundays. The North Stars have only won once on Sunday this year. They've lost 5 and tied 2. And they do play a Sunday game in Winnipeg tomorrow night.
What's your best day of the week?
My best day?
Yeah.
Oh, any day I don't have to go to work, I guess. Any day I can sleep in.
Have a good meal?
Yeah. Any day I have to work with you, Ralph. Oh, best day of the week.
Thank you, Al.
They're all good. All right, this is Jimmy Jake. How about you, Tommy? Bassin off the traffic. It hit Ludwig. Rich Sutter behind. Had Bassin in front, but the pass out was blocked by Johnson. Now Bassin in the corner, picking it off, plays it behind, and Johnson again, a bank. Zombo keeps it in. Back of the net. Now Rich Sutter after, but Ludwig taps it past him. Gavin back in the corner to help. And his clearing attempt goes over the glass and into the crowd. And that'll bring up a face-off left of John Casey.
Stu Gavin is taking Mike Craig's place on the Mike Madonna line. Gavin, who is now a theater producer. Al, did you know that?
Yes.
He and his wife Phyllis
movie maker.
putting a big production at Theater Max, their theater that's named after their son Max. This is a theater that Stuart and his wife Phyllis have started, and they are co-producing a play called Detective Fiction, which will begin its run March 12th. And we'll have more information on that, and it's supposedly a very interesting story. I spent some time talking with Stewie on the airplane yesterday about it. Sounds like a fascinating business.
I was in a play once.
Yes.
Yeah. I played Teddy Roosevelt in Arsenic and Old Lakes.
Really?
Running up the stairs with the sword yelling, "Charge!"
Did you?
I always tripped on the top step though.
You didn't have the sword in your hand when you tripped, did you?
It was a very dull sword, Ralph. Now the puck is shot on in by Churlitt. Joseph clearing it around on the left for Shanahan. He takes a bump there from Churlitt, who falls. Derek Smith fishing it loose. Now Bobby Smith after it. It's cleared to the line. Tenorti kept it in right on the paint stripe. Plays it back to net. Bobby Smith passing off for Churlitt. He's checked by Giles, who recovers a loose puck in the corner. Across on the right to Quintal. Oh, he walked right into Tenorti, spun him around. He's still trying to play the puck. Gives it to Shanahan. Now it's loose, and Bobby Smith got it away from Hall. Slips it to Derek Smith, who slides it in to set up a line change. Broughton, Johnson, Duchesne, Ludwig, and Courtnall coming off the bench for Minnesota. Hull takes a pass at center, then overpasses Ron Sutter on the relay. Cleared up the wing by Ludwig. Duchesne slips it to Courtnall. On his off wing, he's got Broughton to his right. Now a drop pass for Duchesne, a shot, and Joseph turns it aside. Duchesne to Courtnall, one times it, it goes back of the net. Broughton to Duchesne. The Duke trying to head for the slot, wheels and plays it in deep. Butcher clears it past Courtnall. Hull picks it up, drops it off to Ron Sutter. A return pass was short of the mark, but Brown is there to help out. Plays it in, Ludwig clears. Korolev couldn't get it. Duchesne's pass comes rink wide back in the zone off Ron Sutter. And now Duchesne dumps it out. It's knocked down and played back in by Murray Barron. This is Johnson. To his right, Courtnall forced back by Korolev. To Ludwig. His attempt to hit McPhee broken up by Wilson. But now his pass deflected to center, and here comes McPhee. He's all alone. Got by one check. Got by Barron, a shot, and it went wide to the left. Good effort by McPhee. Now a shot by Tenorti. Joseph covers at the right post on that one. The Blues clear it on the net, no icing, and Casey headmans to Tenorti. A long rink-wide relay. Giles is back to keep it away from Courtnall. It's still in the zone. Now Lowry cutting off McPhee as he went forward in the slot, and Giles clears not out. Gagne puts it in the slot. A nice play there as Clant shook off a check and got it to Gagne. Round behind, I like this Clant. Every time I see him, he looks better. He knows what he's doing out there with the puck. Now McRae clears it to center. Tenorti banking to Barry, and Barry puts it in the zone. This is Giles to McRae. Lobs it in. A bouncer. Look out for that one. They can be trouble. Casey handles it well. Tenorti plays it to center. Quintal back in. Rich Sutter had to clear the zone. He was offside, so he didn't touch it. And now Tenorti has it back of the net to Madonna. A rink-wide pass to the right, and the North Stars attacking with Barry. Madonna down at center. We've got a penalty being called. Casey coming to the bench. Madonna up and all right. A delayed penalty. And Minnesota will go on the power play with only 59 seconds remaining in the period. The Stars have had the only chance on the power play. They're 0 for 1. There have been a lot of penalties in the first 4 games of this series. The North Stars took 38 for 111 minutes. The Blues had 24 for 90 minutes. On the power play in the first 4 games, the North Stars were 6 for 25, which is 24%. The Blues were 5 for 27, which is 18.5%. So Minnesota's penalty killing against the Blues is 81.5%, and the Blues is only 76% against the Stars. Rich Sutter off.
Upcoming in March, Al, the North Stars start the month in Toronto. They play 6 on the road, and they have 3, 4, 5, 6 at home. Look at that. How does that work out?
Well, that's all even.
And
couple
the
of
North
6-packs there.
Yeah, a couple of 6-packs. They come home for a 2-pack, a weekend series, Sunday, March 7th. Hockey Mom's Night. A ticket, a hot dog, and a Diet Coke for $10.50 when the Stars play the Detroit Red Wings, with the St. Paul Pioneer Press helping out for the big promotion. And then it's Mystic Lake Blackjack of the Stars Night when the Shacks come to town on Tuesday, March 9th at 7 o'clock. Brought to you and presented by KQRS and Mystic Lake.
Oh, pretty Red Wing. Yes. This is Gagne. Trying to get away from Butcher. Down behind Courtnall. Oh, and the pass is between the point man. Tenorti had moved a little toward the boards and opened up a bigger hole for that puck to get through. See what they can do with Shodin to Dolan. Dumps it in 30 seconds in the period. Brown faked a slap shot, then lost it. And the Stars keep it in. Courtnall back to Tenorti, across to Shodin. The shot changed direction, hitting the traffic, going wide left. Now on the right side, it's Miller clearing it. And that sends Shodin scampering back, pursued by Wilson. Shodin clearing it up off the boards. Basson has it. Went down as he missed Tenorti. Now clears it. And that's going to do it for the period. Shodin back to touch it at the horn. And after one, the Stars lead 1-0. They'll have a man advantage for 1:02. That's the remaining time in Rich Sutter's penalty when they face it off for period number 2. This is North Stars hockey.
There's a penguin on the telly. There's a penguin on the card. That's what I think. But thank you anyway to the Booster Club. They are such a nice bunch of people.
Aren't they,
such
though?
Good fans. Yep.
All right, we're... Tommy Me says it's his sister Liz's birthday today, too. So, Liz, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Liz. Thank you, Liz.
I bet he doesn't even have a sister. We never know whether to believe him or not, folks.
I'm sure she doesn't admit to it very often.
You can be sure of that.
Stewie Gavin's sister's birthday is today as well. And so, I don't know, maybe Tommy's borrowing Stewie's sister just to try and get into the act here. I don't know.
Brett Hull coming off the bench for the Blues. He's been hot. He's had 11 goals in his last 12 games, 21 goals in his last 20 against Minnesota. But nothing tonight so far in the first period. Just checking it out for Hull, he had 2 shots on goal. North Stars had 16 shots in that mouthful.
I'm sorry. You know, I'm having some trouble tonight.
Shodin to Tenorti. Wilson covers him and he returns it to Tommy. Shodin starting it back to Madonna now. Flip left. Tenorti skate the stick. Zombo clearing. Casey has to perform. Shodin takes over. That was a blast ringer. Now kept in the corner. The clearing attempt by Barron was blocked by Madonna, but on his centering pass, the Blues clear it away. Casey out, rink wide's left to Tenorti. Lowry goes after him, and the feed goes across to Madonna. Behind the back for Dolan. Dolan trying to get away from Basson, then runs into Zombo. Rich Sutter comes on. Dolan still working it out. He got it in front, and nobody there. Tenorti was there. Courtnall was off to one side, and Madonna way to the other on a great effort by Dolan. Now Gagne, long shot. Trying to beat him again on one of those long ones. Basson bumping in the corner there with McPhee. Puck comes out to the line, and apparently Ludwig didn't get to it in time. They're signaling offside, but the Blues clear, so they wave it. Johnson to McPhee. He's in check. Gagne tried to get control and couldn't, and Hull has it. Ball passing off to Ron Sutter, now to Korolev. Centering pass goes rink wide, comes back to Brown. In deep, Casey's out behind. Where's the puck? Hull didn't see it. It was down in his skates there. Now it comes back to Ron Sutter. He fires. Casey turns it aside. Hull after it again. Chops it back of the net. Sutter tied up by Gagne. Now Korolev gets it. Korolev putting it out in front and in off the point. Brown fired it and went up high over the net. Now it's centered again and picked up on the right side by Klatt. Klatt to McPhee. Long shot rebounding up the slot off the chest protector of Joseph. And the Blues back on the attack, but Duchesne breaks it up, intercepting Hull's drop pass. Broughton coming in, Churla coming up with him. And now Broughton tried to feed Duchesne, but the pass is blocked. Broughton recovers a loose puck at center, brings it in, unloads, and it goes wide. Ron Sutter clearing out to center off the stick of Barry, who now chases Duchesne's pass back in the Minnesota zone over to Hatcher. Glanced off his stick, and now Nelson Emerson playing it along the boards. Tied up in the traffic. Now it comes back to the net. Casey cuts it off for Broughton. Broughton to the Duke. Churla going after it, but Joseph out to clear it away from him, but it's kept in by Duchesne. His shot off a stick. Broughton comes back to the net, tied up by Quintal. Now the chase is on. It's played along the boards behind the net, and the Blues recover. A lot of hard work out there by Derek Smith. Blues come in with Emerson. Moving it across. Janney, a tip in front, and Casey made the save on a good try by Shanahan in front of the net. Now a high pass is gloved down by Derek Smith. Back he comes, dumps it in as he runs into Barron. The two of them pursue. Now help arrives in the form of Gavin, but it's played around behind Quintal. Gavin goes after him. Nails him to the wall, but the puck comes on out to center. Shanahan reaching back for it, dumps it on in, and Casey cuts it off for Ludwig. Up the wing. Wide pass comes loose at center, and this is Modano in heavy traffic. Down he goes as he walked right in to a stiff check from Zombo. Modano slow getting up, but I believe he's all right. And he's coming to the bench. He may have been shaken up a little bit on that exchange. Now the North Stars control. Gavin goes down on a hook from Wilson. McRae with the puck trying to center. It's broken up as the pass was blocked originally, and now the goal gets knocked askew, so it'll take time to put that back in place. Meanwhile, McPhee going after Lowry, but the linesmen interview very quickly. The score 1-0 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey.
Is filling after this one. Rick Zombo lines him up well. Mike Modano skating against 4 St. Louis Blues. Takes a step to his left and bam. Oh, the elbow was up a little high maybe, but.
And the head was down.
Keep your head up there, young man.
All right, we got a face-off to the right of Casey. 15-19 left in the second. 1-0 Minnesota. Stars have outshot the Blues 18-8 in the game. It's 2-all in this period in shots. Tenorti comes into Hull, feeds it ahead to Klatt, who tips it out. Chopped back in by Korolev. Ron Sutter goes after it with Tenorti. Puck comes loose. Hatcher. Darian Hatcher on the wrong side for Klatt. Goes all the way. And this is going to be an icing call.
Well, lots of stuff going on when we get back home. Sunday, March 7th, the Electric Stars Kids Clinic. 2:30 is the check-in. 3 to 4:30 is the clinic itself. Tickets are available by calling 595-9850.
Face off in the Minnesota zone to the left again. Looks like a pretty full house here in St. Louis tonight. Hardly any empty seats. North Stars have been averaging 13,579 in each of their home games to date. On the road, an average of 14,014 watches the North Stars play. Difference, about 435 more people see the North Stars on the road than at home. And that's, of course, despite small seating capacities in Tampa Bay, San Jose, and Ottawa. Ron Ron Sutter and Broughton to the left of John Casey. Puck comes to Hull, down to Brown, long shot. Casey down with the trapper, and he snaps that one up good. Looked like a shortstop picking that one out of the dirt.
It was a design play by the St. Louis Blues. Hall gets the puck and gets it across to Brown, who takes a shot at the bouncing puck, doesn't get full wood on it, but is able to tee it up and one-time it at John Casey, the St. Louis Blues leading scoring defenseman. Brown with his shot from the point that Casey is able to knock down.
You know what the North Stars got to be cautious of here tonight? I get the impression the Blues are kind of trying to lull them into a going to sleep situation. They didn't have a strong first period. They really didn't put any pressure on. North Stars had much the better of the play in the first period. Look out. The sleeping dog may come awake. Arf, arf. This is Korolev to Ron Sutter. It's broken up by Johnson, and now Broughton has the puck. Long pass, reaching back. Courtnall couldn't get it. And out comes Joseph to clear it to Butcher. Now a nice pass to Korolev. Deflected it past Ludwig. Picks it up. Fires, and Casey at the post makes the save. Kept in by Butcher. Played around behind the net. This is Korolev in the battle with Johnson. They make that Duchesne, and the Duke wins the battle, but feeds a pass on the backside of Courtnall, and Brown gives it to Hull. In he comes. Casey makes the save. Duchesne fell, but it's cleared to Courtnall. Broughton coming with him. Two back. Dumps it in deep as he runs into the Penguin. Was he on the front of your birthday card?
Well, he's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of them.
I think he's the short one.
Now Butcher goes down along the boards as he runs into a check. Back in the corner to the North Star zone. Here's Janney giving it to Shanahan, who fired it, and that goes rink wide, and from there it's cleared on out to center ice. Barron to Zombo. Zombo passing off and losing it at the line with Shanahan. Back come the North Stars with Dolan. Runs into a check from Barron. Zombo rings it around behind. Janney coming back for it, pursued by Madonna. Leaves it for Zombo. He lost it. It's played back to the net. Now Barron, chased by Madonna, pulled away from him, gives it to Janney. Janney dropping it to Shanahan, over to Emerson. A shot and hit the left post. Now Shanahan cranks up, but his shot hit Barry's stick and rebounds to center. Giles getting it back from Zombo. Long, easy shot. Casey handles it. Now he elects to cover up as Emerson goes after it. And we'll have a face-off in the Minnesota zone to the right with 12:38 remaining in another fast-moving period here in St. Louis. It's still 1-0 Minnesota on a goal at 11:44 of the first by Gagne from Johnson and Klatt at even strength.
Barron hauls the puck out to center and then gives it to Craig Janney. Janney moving in, drops it to Brendan Shanahan, across to Emerson, and tink right off the post behind John Casey, who's played a very strong game tonight, coming out to challenge Emerson and try and cut down the angle, much like he did against Brett Hull just a few moments ago, and much like he did in our between periods feature, the Coca-Cola Classic Hockey Tips, showing how to cut down the angles, with Willard Eichela doing the explaining between periods.
Now from the face-off, we've got a St. Louis player going down. It was Miller. Puck cleared around behind. Quintal came in trying to keep it in against McPhee, but it's cleared. Giles' pass picked up at center by McPhee, knocked off his stick by Rich Sutter. Now Ludwig's pass deflects out of play, and we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. John Casey facing the Blues for the 4th time this season. In 3 games against them, he played 140 minutes. Gave up 7 goals, 3 even strength and 4 on the power play. Faced 73 shots, of which he stopped 66. His record against St. Louis is 2-0-0. His goals against them is 3 per game, and his save percentage is .904. Casey and Darcy Wakaluk shared the goaltending in that 2-2 tie at Met Center December 22nd. Casey left the game after the first period because of a sore foot, as a result of getting hit with a shot earlier. Now McPhee bringing it in. Dumps it in deep. Gagne lets it come back to the net. Platt pursuing. Checked by Basson. Fights him off. Now takes a hit from Quintal. Puck is taken over there by McPhee. He leaves it for Gagne. Back to McPhee. The shot. Platt was pushed into the crease and it hit the traffic. Giles backing in on top of the goaltender. But they held it out. Now Quintal. Can't clear. Kept in. Pass by McPhee. Goes in deep as it got by Platt. Now it's cleared around on the right. Rich Sutter picking it up. His rink-wide pass tipped back in by Broughton, but cleared by Giles. It comes deep. Tenorti back. They wave icing, and Tenorti feeds it on out to center for Duchesne. Bounces off the check by Butcher. Puck is played into the St. Louis zone. Brown trying to clear. Kept in. Fade to Courtnall, and he fired a shot off the left side. Courtnall after it again. Sidesteps a check from Ron Sutter. Hatcher keeping it in to Courtnall. Behind the net to Duchesne. Puts it in the slot, but Hull breaks it up. Gave it to Korolev. Back to Hull. A drop pass. Back to Hull. He goes back of the net. And now Casey going down to cover a loose puck at the left side of the goal crease. With 10:47 remaining in the second, it's 1-0 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey. Face off to the left of Casey. The puck off the boards back to Butcher. His shot was blocked by Ludwig, and it goes right back to Butcher. Plays it in deep. Now along the boards, it's dug out by Churla. 3 men attacking. The pass goes to Bobby Smith. In he comes. Puts it in the corner to the right. Now Derek Smith back to Bobby Smith. Slips it in front. Churla is deflecting it right at the net. And Joseph made the save and dives to cover up. And we got Derek Smith having a little discussion there with Garth Butcher.
The North Stars continuing to put some pressure. A good tip of the puck by Shane Churla, and then he tries to beat Joseph to the rebound. Kurt Joseph, who, as we mentioned, signed the big contract yesterday. It was interesting what Kurt Joseph said in the paper this morning, that with all this talk about Brett Hull's contract, Hull may be doing the same thing off the ice that he does on the ice. That is, focus the attention on himself so his teammates can be successful. They'll leave them open. And with all the talk going on about Hull's big $15 or $20 million contract, Kurt Joseph just walked in and picked up a cool $3 million for 3 years.
Joseph facing the North Stars for the 4th time. He's played 185 minutes against them this season, giving up 10 goals, 5 of them at even strength, 5 on power plays, on 120 shots. His record against Minnesota 1-1-1. His goals against 3.24. His save percentage 916. So he's had a strong series. This is Churla, and his backhander goes wide to the right. Cleared to the line, and it comes on out. Ludwig tried to bat it back in, but couldn't, and now Churla fires it in. Brown behind the net on Joseph's cutoff. Guns it. At center ice, McRae tips it on into the zone. Ludwig comes back, pursued by Wilson, clearing it around on the left, and this is Bobby Smith. Over to Barry, drives it in, and back for it is Murray Barron. To McRae, a quick relay to Wilson, had to stop and come back for it. To Zombo. His shot hit Tenorti, who's limping, and the puck is deflected out of play, and now we've got Churla and McRae coming together, former teammates, and they're not going to get a chance. In there very quickly, everybody, teammates, officials.
Lowry was the one who challenged Churla after the play. Baz came over from behind and grabbed his good friend and former teammate Shane Churla. Here's how it starts at the end of the play. It's Wilson and Churla sort of bumping with each other. Lowry took exception to it, and then Basil comes in. They say Basil's gotten a little bit of ice time. He alternates with Kelly Chase, and Basil, you know, would probably not miss a game against the North Stars. Probably went in and petitioned himself to get into this game, and he is in uniform.
As likes it here. There's good ballet instruction.
Yes.
Here in St. Louis, Tommy. Well, we got North Stars taking their first penalty of the game, and they're offsetting penalties on Lowry and Churla. The North Stars have taken 31 more penalties for 125 more penalty minutes through their first 62 games. Their opponents have had 32 more power play chances. And on the power play, the North Stars have scored 65 times to their opponent's 59. So despite having fewer chances, they have more power play goals, the North Stars do. This is Uffi. Ufda. Ufda. Plays it by Basson. He goes after it along with Barron. Now Dolan was interfered with there by Zombo, but he got away with that. Puck is dumped in from center. Casey comes out to clear it past Basson to Modano. Modano goes down. Miller leaning over him. The puck comes loose. Dolan plays it back to Modano now. And the mighty Mike sets sail. Gives it to Dolan. He controls that puck. Now he put it in front thinking Modano was there, but it's Zombo who blocked it. Clears it to Brown. Dumps it in from center. Very strange game here tonight. You know, not a lot of real good action around the nets. A lot of skating. Butcher getting a loose puck and putting it back in the Minnesota zone. 45 seconds left in the Sherla-Lowry penalties. Now Broughton rink wides at center. Courtnall circles back. Pursued by Korolev. Around behind to Johnson. Johnson's pass picked off by Korolev, who deflects it on out to center. Brown backing up in his zone to Hull. Tips it to Korolev. Korolev check. Ooh, and a good solid check by Tenorti. Spun him around, knocking the stick out of his hand. And Korolev is down. He's in agony. And apparently something caught him in the face. Now Tenorti being challenged by Butcher. The gloves are down, but the officials are not going to let them get it on. And we've got Korolev getting attention from the St. Louis trainer while he lies on his backside at the Minnesota blue line. 7:53 remaining in the second period. It's 1-0 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey.
Tenorti catches Korolev and got his arm up. Looked like he just maybe thumbed him under the chin or something, and Korolev stayed down on the play. Tenorti reaching, looked like he sort of almost punched him. Minor penalties each attached to Butcher and Tenorti on the score sheet.
An unsportsmanlike conduct was the call. Korolev, all right, he's gone to the bench. Mark Tenorti, the North Stars' leading scorer among defensemen with 39 points, 15 goals, 24 assists. North Stars so far in their first 62 games have had 113 points from their defensemen, making some pretty valuable contributions to the team. That game in Boston the other night, they had 2 goals, Johnson and Tenorti, plus an assist out of their defense. Now Giles on the resumption of play brings it back of Joseph. Slips it to the right. Brown back to Giles. Dumps it in. Brown after comes round behind. The first 2 penalized players, Sherla and Lowry, come on. Both teams playing at full strength. Now it goes to Lowry right in front, and Casey the save, give him another chance. Loose puck. Casey down and covering. And the Blues knock it in to tie it up. And look at Casey. Is he upset? He's swinging his stick at the glass. He thought it should have been called. He had the puck, and Fraser didn't blow the whistle. He had it covered, but Fraser did not blow the whistle to stop play. I think Casey thought he had it covered, and that's why he's so upset.
John Casey also, I think, took a chop at Kerry Fraser right in his chest with his trapper. Casey is just fuming down there. First shot, save, Casey. The scramble in front, and it's down. John turns around and has the puck under his stick and glove, and it is poked underneath. The net is lifted up, and that's why the puck never wound up in the net. But then Casey came over. The only thing under review here, it's going to be a goal, because if Fraser had blown the whistle, he would know that down on the ice. And if the question is, did that puck go in the net, there's no question about it. That puck went in the net, and so it's a 1-1 hockey game. The Blues have posted it on the scoreboard.
He's on the phone down there now. The video goal judge here is Jim Kemp. The goal counts. It's all even. at 12:41.
Casey is just very irritated, and I give Kerry Fraser a little credit for not letting the heat of the moment get the best of him, because John Casey came over and whacked him on the chest and then banged his stick on the end boards in frustration, and that's, if Kerry Fraser wants to, grounds for penalties. Here's the announcement on the goal.
Lowry gets the goal.
Number 21, Jeff Brown. Kurt Giles.
Both defensemen, Brown and Giles, get assists on the play. And for Lowry, it's his 4th goal of the season. And I've got news for you, folks. He's got 3 of them against Minnesota. Hull has scored 4 against the North Stars. Shanahan 3. Now Lowry has 3. Brown and Emerson each have 2. Those are the Blues' leading goal scorers against Minnesota. Lowry got his first 2 in the same game.
A couple of years ago, Lowry had 19 goals, his biggest in the NHL. He had 7 last year and now 4 this year. And just like Joe Micheletti told us before the game, Al, grounds for celebration when those 3rd and 4th liners score goals. That's a big one for St. Louis. I look for this game now to pick up quite a bit in intensity as the Blues have finally found a way to beat Casey.
1-1 as Courtnall slips it ahead. Broughton goes after it with Giles. They bump. The puck comes back in the zone, and Quintal clears it out. Broughton picks it off, gives it to Courtnall, and it's poke checked away from him by Quintal. Now Broughton has it. Good play, Giles. Poke checking it away as he went down. This is Shanahan firing it in. Casey cutting it off as it comes toward the front. And we'll have a face-off in the Minnesota zone with 6:44 to play in the second period. Craig Janney has 6 points against Minnesota this year in the first 4 games, all of them on assists. Brett Hull 5 points, 4 goals and 1 assist. Brendan Shanahan 5 points in the first 4 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. And as we mentioned, Hull has 4 goals. That's the leader. Shanahan 3, Lowry 3 now. Brown and Emerson 2 each. Shanahan is the most penalized Blue against Minnesota. 6 penalties for 23 minutes, including a high-sticking major and a game misconduct, the recipient of which was Mike Craig, who's not playing tonight because of an injury. Murray Barron had 4 penalties for 19 minutes in the first 4 games against Minnesota. That includes a fighting major against Darian Hatcher. He also had a game misconduct. Those are the Blues leaders in the series thus far as the puck deflects out to center off Bobby Smith. Quintal tried to fire it in. It was blocked by Churla. Now Brown sending Hull in. The rocket and the save by Casey. Started out to get rid of it. Then with all the traffic in the area, elects to hold it and get the face-off.
John Casey's played Brett Hull so many times, and he knows that you can keep him off the board. But if you keep giving him shots like this one, he'll beat you. Casey out on the front of his crease to stand his ground, and what a confident-looking save this is by the North Stars goaltender, who takes it and kind of holds it up, saying, I ain't got you there. I got that one. Go ahead, try it again. Go ahead and try it again.
Brett Hull looking for a new 6-year contract worth $20 million. They say he'll probably agree to a 6-year contract at $15 million. With another $5 million to be deferred over 20 to 30 years.
That's kind of like your deal.
You funny man.
I'm sorry.
You funny man.
I'm sorry.
Churla after it, but Brown chops it back in. Now Derek Smith dumps it in. Churla after it, but Joseph out to tap it away to the corner. Brown a bank. Korolev not hurt too badly apparently to Rich Sutter. Back to Korolev and now over to Quintal. Fires. Good save there. Ludwig throwing himself in front of it. The bruised, battered, and bloody body of Craig Ludwig. Stopping another one. Here's Bobby Smith. Can he get around? Barron puts it in front, and it deflects off the traffic and comes back wide to the right. North Stars keeping it in. Ludwig dumped it up the slot, but Quintal. Korolev. Hull. He scores! At 14-19, the Blues break the 1-all tie and go ahead 2-1 on Brett Hull's goal. Brett Hull scoring his 44th goal of the season. And the Blues take the lead.
Well, as we just said, you can keep them off the board only so long, and you keep giving up chances like this. Hull is just going to lead into it, and look out. That one's a wrist shot. Deadly accurate by one of the NHL's best snipers, Brett Hull, the Golden Brett. And it's shots like that one that make the management in St. Louis real motivated to settle a deal and keep this guy in town.
Oh, hell, Ronnie, give him another $3 million. He's worth it. Korolev and Quintal get the assist. Well, they're livening it up here at St. Louis. In comes Gavin to Dolan. Fired, and that one goes wide off Barron. Now Gavin kicks it in front. And down goes Joseph at the left post to cover up. He was being hassled in the crease by Tenorti. And we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis zone. I'll tell you, that Tenorti's got some big goals this year for the North Stars. He has scored 5 rally goals. The North Stars have come from behind 2 or more goal deficits to win or tie 6 times this season. The rallies in those games, those 6 games, have involved a total of 21 goals by Minnesota to either create the tie or a win, and Tenorti has scored 5 of the 21 rally goals. That's just about 25% of them. And Mark Tenorti with 15 goals, 5 very, very big ones for Minnesota this year.
Look where he was, Al, too, standing right in the crease. Defenseman Mark Tenorti sensing and feeling that the North Stars need a little something, a little more pressure. Not shy at all about attacking the crease, which the Stars, by the way, have done quite a lot of tonight, getting in Joseph's face.
Blues lead in shots this period 12-6. They were outshot 16-6 in the first. Now Tenorti at the blue line to Gavin, and he fed to Madonna behind him. And Rich Sutter fires long. Casey blocks, sweeps left, and Tenorti plays it off the wall. It trickles out over the line, and now Dolan has it, working against Barron. Madonna heads for the net. The shot is gloved and held by Joseph. Dolan tumbles into the boards. The puck was cleared away by Joseph, and now it's back out at center. Hatcher backing up and slipping it ahead to Gavin, who dumps it in to set up a change. Back for Zombo. His pass got by Ron Sutter and Ludwig, and now it's tied up along the boards. Zombo comes in with Gagne, and it's frozen for a stoppage and a face-off with 4:24 left in the second period. The Blues leading it 2-1. The second period of North Stars hockey is being brought to you by Coors Extra Gold. Slow brewed for that rich, real beer flavor and color. The way beer was meant to be. Coors Extra Gold. No doubt about it. Beer is back.
So are the Blues after taking a period and a half off. They have rallied. Goals by Lowry and Hall have them in the lead by 1.
Sleeping dogs. That's what they were in the first period. But they unchained them here in the second. Now this is Wilson. Long shot. Cleared behind by Casey. Now fed up the wing to Klatt. Gagne to Klatt. McPhee to the left. In against Brown. Brown rides him off in the corner. Now Klatt falls. The puck comes loose. Gagne put it in front, and it deflects right up the slot. And here comes McRae. Basil dumping it in off McPhee. Blues get control. Centering pass. Casey turns it behind. Now Johnson clears it away. Gagne goes after it. Bumping along the boards with Butcher, and now Gagne falls. Lowry leaning over him. The puck is underneath. 3:36 remaining in the second. 2-1 St. Louis. This is North Stars hockey. What are they asking the Duke tonight?
Well, you have to wait and see.
Broughton losing it. It's cleared to Shanahan. 3-on-2. He's got Nelson Emerson on the left. Shanahan dumping it in front. And cleared away by Tenorti. Not out. A centering pass. This is Emerson again. Over to Shanahan. Casey sprawls to deflect it to the corner. Now Duchesne clearing it past Shanahan. Around behind and Barry in the corner. Checked by Emerson. Bounced off him, and now Broughton picks up the pass and comes with it. Poke checked away, and Emerson starts it back with Shanahan. His pass hit Barry's stick, and it's cleared out by Duchesne. This is Giles. Dumps it in. Tinordi. To Barry. High pass got by Courtnall, and it's played back in by Barron. Ron Sutter chasing Tinordi, who whacks it off the wall. Rotten will pick it up at center after it hit McPhee. Gives it to Courtnall. Tried to go through, leaves it for McPhee, and his shot off the traffic goes into the left corner. Blues recover, and Zombo clears it out of play, and that's going to cost the Blues a faceoff to the left of their goal. And now we've got McPhee and Barron doing a little high sticking and pushing at each other.
Barron went after Russ Courtnall, and Courtnall just went straight to the bench. Blues had a couple of big chances. Shanahan feeding the slot, goes underneath Emerson's stick and past John Casey and into the corner. Then another chance for Emerson as he sets up Shanahan, and right underneath John Casey's arm. Shanahan with a little better aim would have made it a 3-1 hockey game. Brendan Shanahan signed a 3-year, $3.39 million deal at the beginning of the season. And like Mike Modano's contract, it was a bet on the come proposition. Shanahan had never had more than 33 goals and 72 points in a single season. This year, he already has 35 goals and 68 points in only 50 games played, and he's a +10. Brendan Shanahan turning in quite a performance under the pressure of a big contract for the St. Louis Blues.
Well, he better, because he cost them Scott Stevens.
A free agent signing of a season and a half ago. The judge ruled that compensation for signing Stevens meant that Brendan Shanahan.
Basson and Modano on the faceoff. Blues have outshot the North Stars 16-7 in the period, but Minnesota leads 23-21 on the game. 2:17 left in the second. Dolan has a whack at it to hit the side of the net. Dolan and Zombo. Now Basson trying to clear. Kept in by McPhee. Another clearing attempt. Battling for it is Ludwig, but it got out. Plays it back into Modano, and that'll be offside.
I think I said that backwards. What I meant to say was, of course, signing Brendan Shanahan meant they gave up Scott Stevens.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
I knew what you meant.
I know you knew what I meant, but I hate to have anybody, you know, at home call me up tonight in Winnipeg when we get there at 3 in the morning and say, "What are you talking about?"
I'll call you at 4.
That'll be a nice little plane ride tonight, won't it?
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, boy.
Great schedule. Basson and Modano. Modano got the puck. He walks into Zombo, loses the puck, and Barron clears it. They wave icing. Casey coming out behind. Clears left. Modano backing up. Feeds McPhee. Now on out to center. Dolan against Barron. Others coming back to help. Dolan got by Barron. Who's in front? Dolan puts it there, but Barron picks it off. Slips it out on the right. We got a penalty behind the play against Minnesota. Blues attacking. Here's a drive by Barron that deflects wide to the left, and when Johnson touches it, we got the delayed penalty calling for roughing, and the North Stars will be shorthanded at 18:34 of the second period. Modano going to the penalty box.
Mike Modano is complaining that he was just taken down in front of the St. Louis Blues net, and that there was a no call. Then right in front of Kerry Fraser, Mike didn't pick his spot very well, and Fraser was able to catch the retaliation, the slash. Modano is coming in late. He bought all kinds of time, did Dolan. Basson tying up Modano. Modano getting mad and just whacked him to the right, and in the corner will be Kerry Fraser. Here's Modano going down under a spinning check by Basson. And then when Modano gets up, he takes a whack at Basson. You'll see it in the corner there. Whack. Fraser's about 4 feet away from Modano and behind him, and makes the call at 18:34 and gives the Blues their first power play opportunity of the hockey game.
1:26 remaining in the period. Blues power play coming into this game 21.9%. 74 of 337. North Stars penalty killing 83.3%. The leading power play goal scorer for the Blues, of course, is Hull with 24, which is tops in the NHL. Now Duchesne clears it away. This is Jeff Brown. Downtown Jeff Brown. Heading uptown. Ahead to Shanahan, who relays it in. Janney after. Emerson keeping it in to Shanahan. Stoppage of play on a hand pass. North Stars against the Norris division are 12-10-3. They're 1-5-0 against Chicago, 1-1-1 against Detroit, 2-1-1 against St. Louis, 5-1-1 against Tampa Bay, 3-2-0 against Toronto. The Blues against the Norris division are 0-3-3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're 3-2-0 against Tampa Bay, 1-2-1 against Minnesota, all even at 3-3-1 against Detroit, and all even against Chicago at 2-2-0. But they're 3 games under 500 in the division, whereas the North Stars are 2 games over. This is Hull. Leaving it, it's back to Brown. A shot, a tip by Hull, and it goes wide to the right. Hatcher playing it ahead. Broughton trying to get to it, but it kept in at the point by Brown. Now it finally deflects out off Duchesne, and Brown slips it to Hull. Back to Brown. 25 seconds. Brown to Emerson. Nelson, Emerson. And here comes Janney. His pass hit Duchesne, and it deflects rink wide and out of play in the Blues bench. 19 seconds left in the period. 53 seconds in Modano's penalty.
And Al, you talked about their division record. The St. Louis Blues last year had a downright awful record against the Norris division. They were 11-17-4. They finished 6 games under 500, but they were a .600 winning percentage on games against teams outside of the Norris division, and only the Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings had a better record outside their division than the St. Louis Blues. Again, the Blues are struggling, and now with 11 of their final 20 games remaining against the Norris division, St. Louis needs to pick it up. That's going to be the key as to whether or not this club has a chance to make the playoffs.
Brown to Hull. Hull dropped his stick. This is McPhee to Broughton. Backhand shot. He scores! Short-handed goal! Neil Broughton ties it up. I don't know what happened to Hull. He just dropped his stick there at center and lost the puck as a result of it. Was unable to get the puck. Oh, he broke it. I see he discarded it. The stick is broken off just above the blade. It's well mangled. Looks like my laundry.
Here's a nice feed by McPhee to Bratz. And that's a 2-2 hockey game, but what a funny play by Brett Ault. You'd think he could do anything else as he turned, his stick broke in his hand, and he sets it down, but then he skates away from the puck, making no effort to get back into the play, just kind of watches it happen, and that puck goes in the net, and things just went from bad to worse, and the North Stars get a huge goal at the end of the period.
That's the North Stars' 9th shorthanded goal of the season, and Broughton's 12th. Now from the faceoff, the puck is cleared out of the Minnesota zone and down the ice, and we're all even at 2 apiece after 2 periods here in St. Louis. 35 seconds left in Modano's penalty. Ask the Duke is next, and this is North Stars hockey.
Will have an effect on you in your adult life. Here comes the next installment in Ask the Duke. Get ready and watch this one. The following is another episode of Ask the Duke. We remind you that the Duke is a hockey player and not an attorney or tax consultant. If any of the information presented here causes you legal or tax problems, we are not responsible. Dear Duke, concerning financial accounting, do you feel the discrete or the integral theory is more appropriate in interim reporting, and why? Ask Stephanie Dunphy of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We take you now to Totino Grace High School in Fridley, where the Duke's accounting class will engage in a lively debate over this issue.
I believe that the integral method will be better. Each period is part of the animal picture.
Duke! But it is true that with a discrete method, each period or quarter stands on its own.
Yeah, but the APB 28 ruling suggests strongly that the integral method should be used.
And, Mr. Duke, special accruals, deferrals, and allocations are used.
That's very true, Jim. But temporary declines in inventory market value should not be recognized in the integral method.
But, Bobby, key disclosure items for integral reporting is the seasonal nature of the firm's operation.
Duke, you've really changed my mind on this. You've turned me around completely. I can't believe that. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, Bob, that's true. Can't we just go back to the Duke method?
That's right, Jim. The Duke method is the only way to go, without a doubt.
Class, remember, on the ice, listen to the coach. Off the ice, listen to the Duke.
Duke method, 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 louder, the Duke method.
Oh, we want to thank benchwarmer Bob Lertzema and also the 7th and 8th hour classes of Mary Newman's great bunch at Totino Grace High School for helping us out with this one. Ask.
35 seconds left in Madonna's penalty as we go to the third period. The North Stars 24 shots, the Blues 21. Leading shooters for Minnesota, McPhee with 5, Gagne and Duchesne with 4 each. For the Blues, Hull leads with 5 shots, while Shanahan and Lowry each have 3.
The third period of North Stars hockey is brought to you by Hardee's. Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's.
All right, from the face-off, the Blues take control now. This is Emerson dumping it in. Casey clearing it away to the left, but Hull is there, or Janney, pardon me. Gives it to Hull, now back to the right point to Emerson, to Janney. Pass is off, it's picked off by Duchesne. He and Broughton combining, and Duchesne realizes there's too much traffic back. He just slides it in. And that'll bring Modano on, putting the North Stars at full strength. He's up in the penalty box. The door is open, and welcome back, Michael. This is Brown with the puck. Tinordi. On to Courtnall. He falls, delivers it rink wide, and it's shot in by Dolan. Murray Barron. The Blue Baron. This will be icing depending, but Rich Sutter's there first. They wave it off. Round behind, and Courtnall has it. Pass tipped in by Dolan. Back towards Zombo. Mishandles it and then picks it up again. Barron and Dolan got tied up in the corner. Now the Blues attack. Pass comes into the zone off Miller to Ludwig. Courtnall loses it to Hull. Hull passing off. Nice pickup from behind by Miller, but he goes down as he runs into Hatcher, who also now falls.
Fans wanting a penalty, not getting one from Kerry Fraser as Miller was taken down by Big Hatch. Hatcher working with the stick. And down goes Miller. That was what the fans reacted to.
Miller, you know, that's an interesting story there. Miller comes from a northern Michigan family that believes all first names should start with the letter K. Kevin's brothers are Kelly with Washington and Kip, who's in the North Star farm system at Kalamazoo. They have one sister, and her first name is Kristen. So they got Kelvin, Kelly, Kip, and Kristen.
What are the
Katie?
And you know what else starts with K?
What?
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, of course.
North Stars and Kellogg's present Stick to a Good Breakfast Week. Tom Mee is on fire in the truck. March 25th, the Maple Leafs. March 27th, the Whalers. $16.50 tickets are just $8 with 2 box tops from a Kellogg's product. Call 853-9333.
They got that special K. They say, you know, it's high protein stuff. Builds muscle, Ralph.
That's what you start your day with.
Why, yeah, but unfortunately it all goes between my ears. Ludwig passes on it, and Gagne picks it up. To Klatt. To Johnson. To Klatt. Got that shot off against 2 defenders. Klatt in trouble, goes down. McPhee keeping it in to Gagne. Now off to McPhee, and Joseph comes up with another save. Puck cleared up the right wing boards by Ron Sutter. Korolev's pass. Ron Sutter in heavy traffic. McPhee is there along with Klatt, and Klatt dumps it back in the zone. Quintal. Up the wing, Korolev plays it. I don't think he likes the hitting game too well. He put on the brakes pretty good when he saw Barry there. This is Hull. Puts it in front. Look out! Wilson was there, but it's cleared away to the left. Duchesne takes a hit from Korolev. Well, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Barry in the corner with Hull. Korolev passing off. Wilson fires. Casey gloves it, drops it, and this is the Duke for Courtnall. Courtnall one-on-one with Brown. The shot. Oh, and he got off a good one. Joseph the save, and he clears it around on the right side. This is Brown. Up to Hull. Make that Wilson. 18. Broken up by Johnson. Fired back in by McRae. McRae going after Johnson, but Jimmy takes a good look from behind the net. Spotted him. Now a long pass picked off at center and played right back in. Casey gloves it down, but we've got a stick over the shoulder touching the puck, and that will stop play for a face-off. In the first 4 games between the North Stars and the Blues, Mike Modano led the North Stars in scoring 6 points on a goal and 5 assists, followed by Mike Craig and Tommy Shodin, each with 5 points on a goal and 4 assists. Mark Tenorti and Duchesne each had 3 goals against the Blues. Courtnall and Dolan 2 each. Most penalized North Star against the Blues, Jimmy Johnson, 6 penalties, 28 minutes, including 5 for 26 minutes in 1 game that included a misconduct and game misconduct. Hatcher, 4 penalties for 19 minutes, including a fighting major against Murray Barron and a game misconduct. Those are the North Star series leaders against the Blues. Shanahan going after it, but Johnson there to clear it away to the right side. This is Churla. Emerson checked as he came back, ran into Bobby Smith. The 2 of them continue the battle. Emerson tying him up, poking the puck off his stick. Quintal plays it around behind. Johnson goes after with Giles. Played back to the net by Johnson. Quintal rings it around on the right, and it comes on out to center. Churla firing it back in. The Smith boys clear the zone to make it onside, and Giles has it behind the goal. The Penguin gets it to Snow. He dumped it a little short of center, and we're going to have icing as Tenorti gets back to touch the puck, and they'll bring it back into the St. Louis zone for the faceoff. The teams are tied at 2. 15:54 remaining in the third. This is North Stars hockey. Underway in the St. Louis zone. The puck picked up by McPhee, and his pass got by Modano. Hatcher, right point, high shot, gloved by Joseph. Drops it behind, and it's cleared around on the right wing side for Rich Sutter. His rink-wide pass for Miller deflected away by Hatcher, but now it's shot in from center by Basson. Tenorti clears right. Miller is there, but it's tipped past him, and Dolan has it. Broken up by Rich Sutter, who goes down, but Hatcher recovers the puck to Dolan at the line. To Modano, had a circle back for it. Gives it to Tenorti. Tin Man Demoto comes left it there, and McPhee went down, and the Blues come back. Rich Sutter, long pass. Miller pursues. Ludwig there. Missed him. Miller wrap around, put it in front, and Modano picks it off in the slot. Nice move to get by one man. Around Hall whips a shot off the glass. And this is Butcher. Got slammed into the wall there in the corners. He's checked by Gavin. Puck back at center. Korolev firing wide. Behind the net. Gagne clearing it around on the right. Korolev picks it off. His pass deflected by Gagne's stick. Now it's at center. And Klatt took a good hook there, but keeps on going as he skated off Hall's hook. Put it in front. Nobody home. Gavin couldn't buy a defender. Butcher to get to the puck, and back comes Korolev. Passes off. Brown one times it wide. Korolev behind the net for Ron Sutter, but it's broken up and cleared to the left side by Gagne. Still in the zone. Gagne getting it back and then losing it to Hull. Hull works his way past Klatt. Comes into the zone off balance. Got by Johnson. Plays it around behind, and Tenorti is there. Tenorti to Klatt. Rebounds off the goaltender. Now Klatt again. Fired it, and Butcher deflects this back of the net. Broughton after it. Broughton coming into the slot. Backhand shot. A relay by Duchesne. Joseph the save. Broughton's in the net. And play is stopped.
Neal's just hiding in the back of the net. All those bodies out in front, and Neal Broughton will surface. There he is in just a second. Bratzi doing a good job to set up the Duke right point blank in front of Curtis Joseph. Neal, who has the game tying goal, a short-handed effort, gives it to the Duke, and his shot right off the knee and down to the ice, and then Neal goes falling backwards into the goal. Tommy Shodin we've not seen, Al, very much. He's the power play specialist. He played 2 shifts the other night against the Bruins, assisted on the power play goal, but the first shift of the night he got hit by Ruzicka and his tooth got chipped. So he's got 2 shifts, he's got 1 assist and a chipped tooth. Kind of a rough night for Tommy Shodin.
Yeah.
He said he was standing up in the third period, shaking his legs out, anticipating that he might be coming on for a power play. And the guy behind him, a fan, tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Would you mind sitting down, please? I can't see." Tommy says, "It's rough. I got a rough job."
Craig Janney will face off against Neal Broughton. Teams are tied 2-2. North Stars have outshot the Blues 5-1 through the first 6 minutes and 16 seconds of this third period. Broughton keeps in the clearing attempt, plays it in deep. Courtnall. His pass gloved down, and Shanahan gives it to Janney. Feeds it in. Duchesne will get back ahead of Emerson. And it's cleared, and Giles comes back for it. Lets Joseph play it. Giles a look from behind. Fakes left, comes right. Up the wing, it got by Emerson. This will be icing if the Stars get back first, and Tenorti does. They'll go back into the St. Louis zone for the faceoff. Minnesota took the lead in the game. The Blues tied it, went ahead. Now the North Stars have tied it. In the first 62 Minnesota North Star games this season, the total playing time, including 9 overtimes, was 3,765 minutes. And of those minutes, the North Stars have had a lead for 236 minutes more than their opponents.
How does he do it? How do you do it?
It's my computer brain.
Just like that. And you know what? He wasn't using notes when he said that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Just right off the top of his head, he's got that information.
Zombo up the wing. Miller passing off. Rich Sutter's long shot handled by Casey. Tenorti a bank. Miller trying to cut it off before it gets to McPhee, but it's cleared to center. And Olfey has it. McPhee coming up. And the puck is fired in. McPhee goes after it, runs into Zombo. Madonna picks it up, put it in front. It goes wide, and Basson has it. Basson cleared it. Gloved down by Hatcher. Miller will get to the loose puck. Working against Tenorti. Fires, and it goes back of the net off Casey, and we're going to have a penalty on the play as Miller is brought down behind the net. We've got a holding penalty being assessed, and the Blues are going to get their second chance on the power play. They are 0 for 1. During their last power play, the North Stars scored a shorthanded goal. Mr. Fraser's got them all even. 4 minors apiece for 8 minutes. That's the way it should be.
And how many holding penalties will you see on a goaltender? John Casey just takes Miller down, and beautiful takedown. I wonder if he should get points for this or what, but look at him. Just and the North Stars go shorthanded. Casey goes for a holding. They will send someone, they've not yet made the decision, to the penalty box. Probably Madonna. It is Madonna. He'll go and serve the penalty, as the North Stars have had some opportunities this year with Madonna busting out of the penalty box.
That's the 12th penalty of the season for Casey for 24 minutes. All minors.
Another funny story from that game the other night, Al, when Doug Jarvis said that he told Rick Wilson before the game, you know, I've played so many games in this building. What happens they score is that usually they'll score an even strength goal, then they'll score that first power play goal, and then you're dead.
Yeah, well, that's
and
exactly
sure enough,
what happened.
Exactly what happened the other night. Apparently they were joking about it after the game. The Stars were able to rally and come back twice, but we're now calling him the Prophet Jarvis.
Ludwig, Duchesne, Johnson, Broughton for Minnesota. Broughton will face off with Janney. Toronto leading Los Angeles 1-0. They're underway out in the Forum in L.A. Johnson getting the puck from the faceoff, sliding it to Broughton. He has a shorthanded goal tonight. They've tied it at 2. Gonna try it again. Got by Brown. Put it in front, and Emerson breaks it up to Hull. A drop to Shanahan, and a pass goes rink wide past Emerson. Got to it, plays it around behind for Shanahan. Back to Janney. Now to Emerson. Casey glove and hold. Shanahan cutting in front, and he goes down. He was trying to nudge the goaltender, possibly knock the puck loose, but it didn't work. 1:31 left, and the penalty being served by Modano.
John Casey just letting everybody know that that space out in front of the net is his. Here's the shot from the point, saved by Casey. Shanahan's coming through, and John has one thing on his mind. That's take Brendan Shanahan down. And that's exactly what he did, but Kerry Fraser cannot call 2 penalties in a row against Minnesota at this point in the hockey game. Well, he could, but probably doesn't want to. Johnny's one of those guys, the quietest guy in the world off the ice. Doesn't say a whole lot, very focused, very concentrated. But you get him down on the ice, and he becomes a different human being altogether.
What is this funereal music they're playing here?
This is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, it is?
Tune that I'm sure you're quite familiar with. Remember the days when you were following them around and on their various concert tours? And
sounds like somebody's been eating baked beans in New Orleans. Broughton against Ronnie Sutter. Back to Emerson. Brown right on, and Casey the save, and covers up. John Casey being well tested. There's 1:24 left in Modano's penalty. 2-2 the score. This is North Stars hockey. Now over to that was Emerson. Block. Gavin. Backhander off Emerson, sticking out to center. Brown again. Over to Korolev, gives it to Hull. Plays it in deep as he gets roughed a bit by Tenori. Hatcher trying to clear. It was blocked. Emerson has it. Passes off. Shanahan putting it in front. They score! Hull! They wave it off! They wave it off! There was a high stick. What? We got a penalty, I believe.
Either that or they're calling Shanahan for playing the puck with a high stick, or a penalty that had been called.
I think it's a penalty.
I think it is a penalty prior to the
no goal.
Prior to the play. And we'll get a chance to look at this one again on the replay. But Brett Hull just put the Blues up 3-2. It's still on the scoreboard, and this one will come off, boys and girls. Hatcher behind the play, behind the net, working on Emerson. And then a high stick right there on Mark Tenorti by Brendan Shanahan. It's a great call by Kerry Fraser.
Proud of you, Kerry. Real proud of you.
Boy, is that a gutsy call.
Oh, yeah.
Shanahan puts his hands up sort of to protect himself after the play, but winds up taking a nice shot from Tenorti, and the stick. Boy, that's one that if you're a hometown fan, you hate that call.
Here comes the manure chant. 17 seconds in Modano's penalty. Then the Stars will have a man advantage for 1:43. Shots just about even. 29 by Minnesota, 28 by St. Louis. 2-2. 2-2, 2-2, 2-2, 2-2. Barry chased by Wilson. Gagne clears. Barron plays it in. Barry picks it up. Watched by Wilson to Tenorti. Weak pass. Get to it. This is Miller. Plays it by Barry. The shot, and Casey has to come up with the big save on a bad, weak pass. Now high pass, chased by Klatt. Barron is there, the race, and Barron wins. We got icing, late hit there by Zombo.
And I think he's going to call it.
He should call it. He did. Elbow. Good call. Good call.
That's a very good call, and you have to call it. You can't, no matter what the emotion is here in the hockey game and how badly you think you got robbed out of a goal. This one, Klatt's just sitting there and bang. I mean, that elbow.
Cheap shot by Zombo. He goes, and the North Stars will have a 2-man advantage for the 1:30 left in Shanahan's penalty. The score is tied at 2. The North Stars on the power play. Look at this good play here by Kevin Miller. Nice play.
Casey stays his ground, though.
Good stop. Good stop.
Yeah, it's a big stop by John.
Major league. Major league.
And Al, there we are. Wave now. Wave. It says the
Is that us?
It says the Sports Authority. It's right below Al Shaver. I can think of no better person.
You
got your own sign.
Where's
there.
that camera?
And there we are. It's down there. It was. Directly above the.
I never know where they're shooting from.
That one was a lower right, which is down by kind of the left of John Casey. Right down. Here's an opportunity for the Stars. Tommy Shodin has the legs dusted off. He's on the ice for the first time since I think the first period. I don't think he saw a shift in the second period. There were no power plays by the North Stars.
Gagne got the first goal of the game tonight. That means that he now has points in 7 straight games, including 5 goals and 2 assists. Alfie Dolan has not figured in the scoring tonight. Coming in here, he had 18 points in 19 games on 9 goals and 9 assists. On the power play, Madonna sending Courtnall in against Giles. Round behind, it'll come back to Bobby Smith. Now to Shodin. Madonna one-times it. He shot it wide, and he'll get a good rebound all the way down the ice. Got by the left point. Shodin has to come back for it. 1 minute left in Shanahan's penalty. Now this is Courtnall. 5-on-3. Courtnall's pass hit Miller, who will get to the puck first. Clears it high off the glass and past the point man Smith. And the North Stars have to come back again. Here's Shodin. They should be right in the zone with this kind of an advantage. Pressing. Here's Shodin moving it in now. And behind, nobody back at the point except Madonna. Puck comes to him. It's almost stolen. Good block by Wilson, but Courtnall kept it in. Now it's cleared. This is not an impressive power play with a 2-man advantage. Courtnall finally works it into the zone, leaves it. Now Madonna putting it in front. The shot, and whoa, Dolan stopped on a great save by Joseph. Clearing attempt kept in by Madonna. Across the point, Shodin. His shot blocked. Centering attempt hit the side of the net by Courtnall. They got a man back, Shanahan on. Wilson clears to the line, and it's relayed out by Shanahan. Wilson has it. Shanahan goes down. We got a penalty against Shodin, and that's going to wipe out the big North Star advantage. They have blown this thing sky high. Just blowing it apart with a very ineffective power play and a 2-man advantage, and now they take a penalty that is going to result in a St. Louis power play in 13 seconds when they get Zombo back.
They're examining Brendan Shanahan to see if it's a. He's saying he cut me. He just said to Shanahan, or he said to Kerry Fraser, he cut me, he cut me. Shodin.
Squeeze it, Brendan. Force the blood out.
You saw it, he says as he points at one of the linesmen. Shanahan and Shodin battling for the puck. Shodin's stick is up high. That's another good call by Kerry Fraser, and a decision now to be made as to whether it'll probably be just a 2. Stars had one good chance. It's this setup to Ulf Dolan. Joseph just got the pinky on it.
The penalty is for holding the stick. And the Blues are going to get their third chance on the power play in 13 seconds when Zombo comes on.
Stars really squandering a big opportunity there.
Did they have a shot?
They had the one shot by Dahlin. Fellow countryman Tommy Shodin.
Faceoff is being brought back in the Minnesota zone to the right of Casey, and Duchesne is protesting that decision.
St. Louis now coming into tonight's game had killed 11 straight power plays. Now they have killed 15 straight. The North Stars, meanwhile, have been on a recent power play explosion. Coming into tonight's game, they have scored 14 power play goals in their last 48 chances. That's almost 30%. But the Stars not been able to convert tonight on 4 power play opportunities, including well over a minute with a 2-man advantage. That can kill you, Mr. Shaver.
Mark Tenorti, coming into this game, had scored 12 points in his last 10 games, 4 goals and 8 assists, but none tonight so far. He's been blank. 8:32 left in regulation. Score tied 2-2. From the face-off, it's brought back in the net. Johnson loses it, battles to get it back. Being checked by Janney. The puck comes loose, and Duchesne comes out with Broughton on his right. Now turns back. The Blues on the power play as Zombo comes out of the penalty box. Ludwig lobbing it in. Brown is back. Brown behind. It'll come to center right to Johnson. He dumps it back in. But it's fed immediately by Brown to Hull. Back for Brown. No, he let it go. And it's brought in by Shanahan. Back for Janney. Janney to Emerson. Emerson to Hull. Back to Emerson. Over to Brown. To Emerson. Missed the pass. They'll have to clear the zone. To Brown. Drills it in. Winds around. It'll come up the left side. Hull couldn't get it. Cleared to the line. Emerson kept it in. McPhee's clearing attempt to Brown. Shot it wide. Janney. Emerson. Janney. Closing. Slot. Hull. Can't get a shot off. McPhee had him blocked off. Emerson. Blocked by Ludwig. Back of the net, Janney. Back to Emerson. Delayed penalty to Minnesota. Shot deflected. Janney putting it in the slot, and when McPhee touches it, the delayed penalty is called, and the Blues are now going to have a 2-man advantage for 28 seconds left in Shodin's time. It's 2-2. This is North Stars hockey.
Will even it up, and he did, cross-checking the call on Stewie Gavin at 13 minutes. The North Stars just squandered their 2-man advantage. Let's see what the Blues can do with theirs for 28 seconds.
Janney taking face-off against Broughton. Janney kicking it to the boards. Broughton goes down. This is Brown to Hull, to Brown to Hull. Poke checked away neatly by Johnson. Good defensive play, but it's back to Brown. To Hull, to Brown, to Emerson. Corner to Janney. Back to Emerson. Now to Brown. Hull, he scores! Not Hull, that was Shanahan. It was Shanahan who took the pass. And that'll bring Shodin out, but it leaves Gavin off for 1:35. Shanahan has put the Blues ahead at 13 minutes and 26 seconds. Shanahan scoring his 36th goal of the season, his 14th on a power play.
Blues just keep working the perimeter, getting closer and closer. Everybody taking a step closer to the net. Janney back outside to Emerson, over to Hull, down to Shanahan, and the shot beats Casey. Hull's actually standing in the middle. That's Brown sending it to Shanahan. And the shot that makes it 3-2. Only 3 seconds were remaining in Shodin's power play penalty. Had they scored that one 3 seconds later, the North Stars would no longer be shorthanded, but another minute 35 on the power play for the St. Louis Blues. And credit to the Blues. The Stars had their chance. They blew it. The Blues had theirs and made good on it.
Brown and Emerson get the assists on Shanahan's 36th goal, which puts the Blues in front 3-2. Hull firing it in. This is Miller, leaving it for Korolev. Back to Brown, and now to Quintal. To Brown, faked the shot, now takes it. Off Casey into the corner. Hull goes after it. Barry pursues Korolev. Now back to Hull, to Brown. Over to Quintal. Got turned back. Brown, Hull, knocked down by Casey, and he quickly drops on it. And in front of the net, Miller is knocked down as he came in looking for a rebound. 5:55 left in the third period. 56 seconds in Gavin's penalty.
Again, they unwind the puck and they set up Hull perfectly. He'll just one-time this, and it almost goes right through John Casey's stomach. But he's able to cover it. Brown, Hull, whammo. The puck's coming about 90 miles an hour, and Casey is there to knock it down. The Golden Brett, who is just, they say, days away from signing a 6-year, $15 million deal, plus $5 million deferred, that will keep him in this city for a long time.
On the face-off, it comes to Tenorti, and he clears it. Jeff Brown to Emerson. Hull. Brown. Emerson. Brown. Hull. Casey makes the save.
Brett Hull has had a lot of opportunities in this hockey game. He had 5 shots coming into this period. Probably has another 5 this period. Again, the whole thing is designed to give Brett Hull opportunities like this. And he can beat you from just about any spot on the ice. John Casey's played a very strong game. You allow Brett Hull 1 goal on, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 shots. You're doing pretty well. Kerry Fraser now is over talking to the official scorers again.
Ludwig and Shanahan on the edge of the circle. You know, that Ludwig is one smart guy. On the airplane coming over from Boston yesterday, a bunch of us were talking. He was sitting in the seat right behind, and we got talking about the battery in baseball.
Yes.
Pitcher catcher.
Pitcher catcher.
So I said, why do they call it a battery? And everybody gets some crazy answer. So finally, Luddy, who plays a lot of ball in the summertime, says that they call it a battery because they start the game like a battery starts your car. I said, you're putting me on. He said, no, that's the way it was explained to me. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
That's what he told me. And he was very serious.
Well, I believe him.
Any baseball fans who can confirm that, please call Channel 9.
Oh, yeah.
Pass it along to our producer down in the truck, where I wish he would stay forever. Tommy Me. Are you there, Tom?
Now they're pointing. They're pointing up at us, Al. They're saying.
Well, I didn't do it. We didn't do it.
They're saying, now they're discussing this battery thing. Kerry Fraser said, no, that's not because they start the game. Luddy's saying, yeah, see? And if they come up to us again, we'll just tell them. They're asking the sports authority for crying out loud.
Send the microphone down to Luddy and get a more detailed explanation of what's going on down there. Anyone? That one in Chicago. You should have seen that one in the early years. Now from the face-off, a shot off the pipe. Quick snap shot by Janney. Duchesne in trouble, manages to work it loose and drills it away. 20 seconds in the penalty. Brown is back for the puck. Up to Janney. And feed to Hull. He leaves a drop pass, and here comes Janney. Good moves, but the puck got too far away from him to catch up to it. And Casey covers with 3 seconds left in Gavin's penalty. 5:02 in the hockey game.
Should be 2 seconds left in Gavin's penalty. Again, a problem, a discrepancy on the scoreboard clock, but Craig Janney doesn't mind. Nice feed by Hull. Good move by Janney to get by the traffic and then take the play all the way up the middle of the ice. Ludwig ties him up. Casey there to get the puck. not allowing the chance in close by the St. Louis Blues centerman. Blues need this one. They need a whole lot more. Down the stretch, they have 11 of their remaining 20 games, including this one tonight, against Norris Division opponents. St. Louis plays Minnesota 5 times, including tonight. They have 3 games left against Chicago, 2 against Tampa, and 1 against the Maple Leafs, a team they have not yet beaten this season in 6 previous meetings. St. Louis plays at Chicago tomorrow.
Gavin is on. Barry with the puck. A bank to Courtnall. Checked by Rich Sutter, but he got a pass off to Dolan. Courtnall gave it away. 2-on-1. Rich Sutter to Basson against Tenorti. Save, rebound, save again. Casey's doing his job. And that one could have been very costly as Courtnall's pass is right onto the stick of the Blues player.
Much like they did the other night. Mark Tenorti is in very deep trying to make something happen offensively. That leaves one defenseman vulnerable, Barry, who takes the pass and lets Casey take the shot. Tenorti scampers to get back, so does Modano. But the North Stars will be taking some offensive chances, Al, and it will mean that they will be vulnerable to 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s. They need to press now. 4 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the hockey game. The Stars go a long way with a point here tonight. In fact, a point by Minnesota tonight would equal their total for the entire season last year. Stars had 70 points at the end of last season. They have 69 points coming into this game tonight with still 21 games remaining. After tonight, the 3-quarter pole has been hit on the expiration of this game.
4:35 left in the third period. Blues have 3 goals on 35 shots. The North Stars, who've been held to 6 shots this period, have 2 on 30. Johnson in the corner. To McPhee. Joseph clears to the corner. Gagne checked by Giles. Going after the puck is Platt to McPhee, tied up by Ron Sutter. Platt knocked it loose. Gagne goes in after it. Now he has it again. Takes a hit from Ron Sutter, who falls. Ludwig gloves the puck down. Plays it around on the boards. Korolev goes after it. His clearing attempt hit Johnson. Now it's finally played back out to center. Ludwig dumping it in. They wave icing, and back forward is Brown. 3:40 left. Out to Korolev. Tips it, and Tenorti picks it up. Brings it in. Tenorti lost it as he tried to come to the slot, and Hull banks it away. Casey comes out, clearing it to Courtnall. Over to Modano. Lost it, and it's recovered at center. Perry giving it to Tenorti, banks it in off the far boards. This will be icing. Went through a piece of the crease, so they wave it. Caught the crease, so they wave the icing. Now Dolan to Courtnall. Fires it right on, right into the midsection of Joseph. And here we go. Tenorti pushing and shoving with Barron in front. 3:01 is the time remaining in the third period.
North Stars trying to get something going. Again, it means Mark Tenorti and other defensemen will go to the net. Tenorti on top of the pile. Modano cruising in as well. And Tenorti and Barron getting into a pushing match behind Kurt Joseph. Stars trailing by a goal. Good play by Russ Courtnall. Just get the puck at the net. Hope the bodies can get on top of it, but Joseph swallows it. That is the 32nd shot of the game that Joseph has seen. He's allowed 2 goals. North Stars play tomorrow in Winnipeg, Wednesday at Toronto, then return home Saturday night against the Montreal Canadiens. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers. T-shirt night. First 3,000 fans get a snappy T-shirt. It is presented by MSC.
Face off in the St. Louis zone to resume play. It'll be Basson against Madonna, who's on with Dolan and Courtnall, and Hatcher and Broughton as they go to 4 forwards. Madonna pulls the draw back to Hatcher. A shot and throw to the net. Deflected to the boards behind. A centering attempt is tied up. And we'll have another face-off to the right of Curtis Joseph.
Ulfie Dolan has enjoyed good success against the St. Louis Blues. He's got 12 points in the last 11 games that he's played against the Blues. 5 of his 7.
Won 16 games at home. The North Stars have won 16 games on the road. This is Hatcher. Banks it to the boards, but he lost it to Sutter, who plays it out. Ron Sutter, now Dolan dumped it in very weakly, and it was cleared immediately by Zombo. Now Dolan again to Madonna, fired, gloved down by Joseph, back to the net. Zombo clearing it, tied up in the traffic by Hatcher, whose shot is wide. On the far side, Barron will try to clear, but can't. It's played back to the net. Courtnall tried to get it to Hatcher, but it was blocked by Zombo, who clears left. Miller has it, can't get it out of the zone as he goes down, but the Blues recover, and this is Bassett. Passing off for Rich Sutter, who fired. Casey the save. Now it's Dolan. We're down to 2 minutes remaining in the hockey game as of right now. Here's Hatcher. Dumps it in. Ron Sutter. Checked by Courtnall. Clearing, and it comes back out of the zone. Tenorti at his blue line. Over to Chaudine, driving it in. Cut off by Joseph and then cleared away to the left with a kick pass. A long rink-wide clear back into the North Star zone, and Gagne has it. Hull chasing him. High pass deflected up high, got by Platt, and Lowry fires it back in. Tenorti and Hull to the corner with Chaudine. Chaudine started to go with it before he had it. Now Gagne overskates it. Comes back, gives it to Tenorti. Tenorti goes down as he's checked by Ron Sutter. Hull pursuing it, jams Chaudine. Now it's cleared to McPhee. He takes a hit from Ron Sutter. Gagne around behind. Chaudine. His pass is way behind Gagne, but he picks it up off the boards. Dumps it in. Here comes Casey. The Minnesota goal is empty with 50 seconds to go, and the puck is cleared. And back for it comes Broughton. There'll be no icing. Up to Madonna. He lost it. Wilson fell. Madonna after it again. Drives it in with a two-handed chop. Zombo comes wide right. Clears high off the glass. It'll go far enough for icing, but Wilson will win the race, so there'll be no icing. He and Broughton in the corner. Wilson trying to get a freeze for a stoppage, but it comes loose to Dolan. Dolan to Courtnall. 19 seconds. Courtnall driving it in. Off to the right of the goal, and the Blues are going to get to it first. Basson clears. And the North Stars come back for it with Broughton. No icing. Broughton, Rich Sutter, it goes to Johnson. Johnson dumping it out. It's all over. The Blues win it by a score of 3-2 and move to within 5 points of the North Stars in the battle for the last playoff spot in the Norris Division. Minnesota still has 2 games in hand. They'll play them tomorrow in Winnipeg and Wednesday in Toronto. St. Louis 3, Minnesota 2. This is North Stars hockey. Plucked again. What? Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And there he is, Brendan Shanahan of the St. Louis Blues. Once again, the final score here in the St. Louis Arena, 3-2 Blues. Our next televised game will be tomorrow night at 7 on Midwest Sports Channel when the Stars face off against the Winnipeg Jets. Through the facilities of KMSP. For Ralph Strangis and Doug McLeod and our entire Minnesota North Stars television crew here in St. Luigi. Good night, everybody. Minnesota North Stars hockey is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the NHL and the Minnesota North Stars. You can't beat the real thing. And by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself or we'll do it for you. And by Toyota and your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And by Mystic Lake Casino with slots, blackjack, high-stakes pull tabs, bingo, and restaurants located just south of Valley Fair. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by the Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.